Radio Shack has often been described as a distribution system for products and technology. Without a doubt, one of these new high-tech products is Radio Shack's transportable cellular telephone. With cellular technology, it's now possible for a large number of consumers to have a fully functional telephone in their car or boat. And our unit can be used as a full 3-watt transportable with the addition of a portable battery pack. Hi, I'm Bob Gelman, and I'm here to tell you about our exciting cellular telephone line for 1988. Before we get started, it'd be a good idea if you already have a solid understanding of the benefits of cellular and the transportable phone we now offer. Back in December 1985, we produced a videotape called Cellular. Most of the information in that tape is still relevant, and it'll give you the basic information you need on cellular service, features, and benefits. Additional copies are available from the Force Feed warehouse. It's FO 319. Now, if you've already seen that tape, well, you're ready for this one, Cellular 2. Contains 3 modules. This first module will cover our complete cellular telephone line, including features and accessories. In Module 2, we'll talk about how to sell cellular, including sales support, product applications, identifying prospective customers, in-store merchandising, and developing a cellular information package for your customers. Module 3 is a reference section on how to program the NAM parameters into our cellular phones. Okay, let's get started. You know, we've had great success with our transportable. It's really established Radio Shack as the #1 retailer of cellular phones in the country. But now the really good news. We're adding 2 new exciting cellular products, a portable and a low-cost mobile to the 1988 cellular telephone line. All 3 Radio Shack cellular phones are loaded with features and are very competitively priced. There's no doubt they offer your customers the best cellular values available today. Now, no matter what kind of telephone your customer needs, you can truly say, make Radio Shack your cellular telephone company. Let's look at our cellular telephone line, beginning with the best-selling transportable on the market, our CT200. The original 17-1002 was a hot seller, but we've made it even better with the 17-1003. Enhanced features include improved memory dialing, hotline calling, cumulative timer with lock code reset, and soon an improved keypad. These features will be discussed in detail later in this module. The 17-1003 offers improved performance with less dropouts and fewer incomplete calls in poor cellular service areas. The standby time has been increased at least 40%. Used to be 7 hours, now it's 10 to 12 hours. And probably the biggest improvement has been made to our 23-181 cellular battery. The original battery many times would destroy itself if allowed to totally discharge, resulting in poor operating times. The solution? A new formula battery, which eliminates this problem. All batteries in the warehouse are improved and can be identified by the red label on the battery case. Replacement batteries for the 17-201 battery pack have also been improved. Order 23-180 from Consumer Mail. Last year we also came out with some new accessories for the transportable. The 17-501 hands-free data interface, which sells for $69.95, lets you make or receive calls without using a handset. It's kind of like having a speakerphone in your car. Easy to install, it includes a condenser microphone with a clip for mounting on the sun visor of your car. Add to this the 17-502 data cable kit at $19.95, available from Consumer Mail, and you'll be able to transfer data using any Tandy laptop computer. Hands-free and data transfer operation is possible even when the phone is used as a portable. The 17-402 extension handset, also from Consumer Mail, sells for $199.95, and it allows the use of a second handset in limos, RVs, or yachts. Finally, we've got a horn alert kit, which lets you know the phone is ringing when you're outside your vehicle. Once installed, this option honks the horn or flashes the headlamps when there's an incoming call. To order, it's AXX7120, which used to be a national parts item, but now it's also stocked by Consumer Mail. Now let's look at one of our new products, the CT100 cellular mobile telephone. Catalog number 17-3001. It's going to be available in October and introduced in the November flyer. Priced at only $799, it's $400 less expensive than our CT200, which makes it a great value for customers who don't need a transportable phone. This is our lowest price ever for a full-feature, full-power mobile phone that you can install yourself. And with our monthly credit plan, it's even more affordable. The CT100 is not a stripped-down phone. It includes all the power, performance, and features of our transportable in a mobile-only version. And a full duplex hands-free speakerphone is built right in. That saves the customer another $69.95 compared to the CT200. Like the transportable, the mobile phone has a full 3-watt power output. The keypad of the CT100 is improved. These new square buttons are more attractive. They're easier to use. They have a much better feel. This same keypad will soon be used in our transportable handset. Our new CT100 Mobile is easy to install. Instead of mounting the transceiver in the trunk like the transportable, it mounts under the dash like a CB. Since all the controls are in the handset, the customer can also mount the transceiver under or behind seats wherever it's convenient. The CB-type mounting bracket makes it easy to move this phone from car to car. If the customer wants to install it under the seat, the handset cable may not be long enough. To solve that, we've got a 10-foot handset extension cable, catalog 17701. It'll be available in October from Consumer Mail and will sell for $24.95. The mobile phone can be mounted in the trunk with the use of a new wiring harness and interface, CAT number 17702 at $39.95. It'll provide all the cables necessary for trunk installation. An optional horn alert kit, 17703 at $39.95, is also coming. Both will be available in late 1987 from Consumer Mail. Watch for future announcements on availability. You'll need a special NAM programming cable adapter and new software to program this phone. These will be drop shipped to all cellular stores by October 1, so watch for them. We'll talk more about programming in Module 3. Now let's take a look at our other new product, the CT300 Portable Cellular Telephone, catalog number 17-2001. It'll be available in August and introduced in the October flyer. At a price of only $14.99, it's the most affordable portable anywhere. We're way below the price of all other portables on the market, which list from $2,600 to over $3,000. That makes us at least $1,000 below the competition, a real price breakthrough. The CT300 is the perfect phone for people on the go. It offers all the convenience of a full-feature cellular phone in a portable size. Weighing only 28 ounces, including batteries, it's about the size of a cordless phone. So it's lightweight and compact enough for you to easily carry it with you wherever you go. You can also use it many times when you'd normally be out of contact, like at the job site, in a rental car, on a service call, on a commuter train, or relaxing on a boat. One big advantage of our portable is its outstanding operating time. You get 1.5 hours of talk time or 15 hours standby. Let's compare that to the transportable, which has 30 to 60 minutes talk time or 10 to 12 hours standby. So the handheld unit has 50% more standby time and 2 to 3 times more talk time. The battery is a 1 amp hour, high energy, nickel cadmium battery pack, designed exclusively for this phone. Fully recharges in just 1 hour compared to the transportable, which takes 10 to 12 hours. To charge and operate the CT300, customers must purchase several accessories. A charging stand, catalog 17602, which sells for $59.95, plus either an AC adapter, catalog 2731653 at $18.95, or a mobile mounting kit, 17603 for $24.95. This charging stand is very versatile. How? Well, it can be used in 3 ways: to charge the phone, charge only the battery, or it can be used as an AC or a DC power supply. When used with the 2731653 AC adapter, you can operate or charge the phone in the home or office. For use in a vehicle, the mobile mounting kit has a pedestal mount that attaches to the vehicle's floor or dash. The charging stand slides right into place. The mobile mounting kit includes 2 power cables. One can be hooked directly to the battery. The other plugs in the cigarette lighter socket. Customers also have the option of buying extra batteries, catalog 17604, at $59.95 each. Charge one while using the other for continuous use. Our last accessory, which connects to the charging stand, a hands-free and data kit, will be available in late 1987 for $69.95 from Consumer Mail. It's 17601. The CT300 has 600 milliwatt power output, which is the same as most portable cellular phones. It'll work well outdoors in most cellular areas, but its performance will be affected by certain conditions, such as operating in a car or operating deep inside a concrete and steel building. For those customers who intend to use the handheld unit in their car, we strongly recommend they purchase a mobile antenna for improved performance. If you're using it inside a concrete and steel structure, it may not work in all areas. The performance of the phone is dependent upon the quality of cellular service in that section of your city. The phone must receive an adequate signal to function properly. Carriers are constantly improving their systems, so eventually portables will work wherever you go. But right now, you need to qualify your customers. Find out where they'll be using the phone so you can advise them of any potential problems in advance. This phone programs through the keypad and must be done by you at the store at the time of purchase. We'll talk more about programming in Module 3. Now let's look at some of the features of our cellular phones. We've included a product comparison chart with this video tape that will tell you which phone offers which features. Memory dialing simply means the ability to store numbers and recall them later. The CT100 Mobile and the CT200 Transportable have 98 memories. The CT300 Portable has 40. 2-digit dialing makes dialing quicker and easier. Just hit 2 digits and press send. The number will be dialed. When using locations 1 through 9, just enter the single digit and press send for 1-digit dialing. Last number redial. This is the same feature that's found on many of our regular telephones, but instead of a redial button, you just press send on the cellular phone and the last number called will automatically be dialed again. Speaker monitor. Both of our mobile phones, the Transportable and the Mobile Only, have this feature, which permits on-hook dialing. You can hear the phone ring, a busy signal, an answer, or time, weather, and information services without lifting the handset. Electronic lock. You can lock the phone to prevent against unauthorized outgoing calls by hitting Select Lock. You still receive calls while the phone is locked. This feature would be helpful, for example, if you've parked your car and you don't want the attendant to use the phone. The phone is unlocked by using your 4-digit lock code. The mobile and transportable phones require reprogramming by the SOS computer to change the lock code. But the CT300 portable lock code can be reprogrammed by the customer through the keypad. Cumulative call timer with lock code reset. All 3 phones have a timer to keep track of the cumulative usage of on-air time. This convenient feature helps you keep track of how much you're using the phone. You must know the lock code to reset the timer. Hotline call restriction. When locked, you can only call one number, which is pre-programmed into the last memory location. For example, let's say that you provide your employee with a cellular phone so he can check in with the office several times during the day. You're afraid he might make some personal phone calls and increase your service costs. So you program the office number into that last location, lock the phone, and don't give him the lock code. Now he can receive all incoming calls, but can only call the office. Scratch pad memory. This lets you enter a number into the display while talking on the phone. For example, when calling information to get a phone number, you can type it in as it's given to you. Later, just press send and the number will be dialed. Tone service compatibility. This allows your phone to access long-distance services such as MCI or Sprint. AB switch. Each cellular service area can have 2 cellular service carriers, which are designated as A or B. The AB switch allows you to choose which carrier you want to use when you're roaming, using the phone outside your home area. The 3 possible settings are A, B, and S. The A setting lets the phone communicate only with the A carrier. The B setting lets the phone communicate only with the B carrier. The S setting tells the phone to try to communicate with your home system first, and then if it can't, scan over to the non-home system. When you're in your home city, the phone should always be programmed for either the A or the B carrier, never the S setting. Otherwise, the phone's roam light may turn on and the customer won't be able to make a call. You should set the A-B switch to match the carrier that the customer has chosen. Automatic shutoff. The phone will automatically shut itself off after several hours of non-use. This prevents the phone from draining the battery if you accidentally leave the phone on. The CT200 Transportable will shut itself off after 10 hours of non-use, and this cannot be changed. But the other two phones can be reprogrammed by the customer right through the handset for 0 to 9 hours. They can decide whether or not they want the phone to shut off, and if so, after how long. Power on display. When you turn on the phone, 3 pieces of information will flash right on the display. Your phone number, what position the A-B switch is set to, either A, B, or S, and whether or not you've activated optional call forwarding. Remember, call forwarding is not a feature of the phone, but is an option provided by the local cellular service carrier. Customers must call their carrier to obtain the service. So you've got a lot of resources on hand to help you answer your customers' questions about cellular telephones. But if, after watching the tapes and reading the owner's manual and the brochures, if you still have questions, you can now call a toll-free Radio Shack cellular hotline at 800-231-3070. In Texas, it's 800-772-5813. It's not for customers. It's for Radio Shack personnel only. This hotline is a resource for you if you have any questions or problems about the cellular product line, including programming, features, and accessories. Questions about local service or how to fill out the cellular paperwork should be referred to the carrier or your district manager. Now that we've looked at our 1988 cellular phone line and the features it offers, let's go on to Module 2 and talk about how to sell cellular. Radio Shack is and will continue to be the #1 retailer in cellular telephone sales. We're committed to being a major player in this big growth industry. That means we want substantial increases in cellular sales and are devoting our full company resources to ensure that these results are achieved. Our advertising, merchandising, manufacturing, store operations, and sales training departments are working together to bolster these cellular sales by offering products and programs, training and support to ensure that you, the sales makers, have everything you need to meet this challenge. To continue as the best in cellular, you first got to have the right products, and we do. For example, our CT200 is the #1 selling transportable in the United States. Add to that the CT100 Mobile Only, a full-feature, full-power phone at our lowest ever cellular price of $799. And finally, the CT300 Handheld, a price breakthrough at $1499. That's at least $1,000 below the list price of other portables. We have the cellular solution for your customers in terms of quality, price, and performance. We're backing these products with a major multimedia advertising campaign that will promote our cellular products and bring customers into your store. And most important, we've got you, the best trained and motivated retail sales force in the country. It all adds up to the winning formula that will enable cellular to play a major part in your sales growth for 1988. Let's talk about what Radio Shack is doing to help promote and support our cellular product line so you can ring up some big cellular sales. Part of the front cover of the 1988 catalog, plus all of page 2 is devoted to the new portable. Pages 4 and 5 promote the rest of the cellular phone line, the improved transportable, and the new mobile. That's the best 3 pages in the catalog and the cover devoted to cellular phones. Radio Shack sends out 11.5 million copies to our stores, and we estimate that 120 million prospective customers will see this catalog. That's a lot of potential customers and potential sales. We've scheduled a major national network TV cellular advertising campaign. The TV budget this year is almost triple what it was last year. You'll be seeing these TV ads starting this fall, and they'll continue throughout the fiscal year. A strong magazine campaign in over 12 publications is now going on. We'll promote our CT300 portable in Eastern and United Airline magazines. There'll be mass market ads in Business Week and Popular Science, and vertical market ads in boating and other magazines designed to get the attention of contractors, doctors, real estate agents, and other professions most likely to buy cellular phones. There'll also be a major presence in the flyer and the inserts throughout the year, and our Sunday ROP newspaper ads will continue to tell the cellular story. As you can see, we're committed to cellular, with strong advertising in our catalog, national TV, magazines, newspapers, the flyer and inserts, all designed to encourage our customers to make Radio Shack their cellular telephone company. To make it easy for you to show off your phones, a new cellular display like this will be shipped to all authorized cellular stores and centers by October 1st. This will allow you to professionally merchandise and demonstrate our cellular phones and antennas up front in your store. Here's how you should set up this display cube. Position the handsets and the mounting assemblies with the mobile first, portable and charging stand in the center, and the transportable handset on the right. Install the glass mount antenna without foil strips on the plexiglass panel. The trunk mount goes in the middle, and the magnet mount on the metal pad. The transportable trunk mounting bracket mounts first on the right side of the cube, with the mobile transceiver attached right below it. The cellular display is to be located up front in your store, so it's the first thing customers see when they come in. Continue to use the transportable as your demo phone because it works best within a building and doesn't require AC power. Attach the trunk mount antenna to the transportable for best performance. Once you have the new cellular phone display merchandised, it's time for some show and tell. You know, many of our customers have heard about cellular, but they've never seen or used one, and they really want to know more about it. Here's your chance to tell the cellular story. Get the customer involved. Transfer possession. Have them make a local call to their home or office and see how great this product really is. Do some bragging. You know, we've got the best cellular telephone line on the market. Let's tell the world. Assign one sales maker each day to be the store's cellular expert and tell every customer about cellular. You know, the portable makes a great starting point because it's so unique. Hand it to the customer and ask them what they think about our new cellular phone. Use it kind of as a springboard to ask qualifying questions. Increase customer awareness and excitement about cellular. Even if you don't close the sale, take it the next step and AFTR. Ask for the referral. Do you know anyone else that might like to have a cellular telephone like this one? You'd be surprised how many good leads and sales you can get this way. You know, of course, not everyone is in the market for a cellular phone, and it's really kind of a game of numbers. The more no's you get, the sooner you're going to get a yes. And what is that yes worth to you? Well, how many stereo systems or VCRs would you have to sell to earn what you can make on one cellular sale? Have you ever stopped to figure out how much money you can make selling cellular on the consumer pay plan? Well, let's take a look at some of the numbers. By selling one portable cellular phone, you can make almost $170. The total ticket for a leased CT300 phone, charging stand and adapter, 5% tax, and ESP is $1,856.75. At 6.25%, your commission is $116.05. Add the ESP 10% spiff of $19.99 and a 2% TCL spiff of $31.56, and that amounts to total earnings of $167.60. And that's only on one sale, not including other optional accessories. The CT200 transportable, including adapter kit, batteries, and ESP, is worth almost $150 in commissions and spiffs. Commission on $1,605.74 is $100.36. ESP spiff is $19.99. TCL spiff is $26.77. The total, $147.12. And a mobile plus glass mount antenna and ESP will add nearly $90 to your paycheck. Commission on $1,091.35 is $68.21. The ESP spiff is $19.99. The total is $88.20. There's no doubt that cellular can mean some big earnings for you. And what would a couple of cellular tickets do for your weekly sales total? Your dollar per ticket, dollar per hour. Sure wouldn't hurt your rankings in your district or visibility for promotion. Let's not forget that selling cellular also means profit. In addition to the high gross profit of our 2 new phones, your store earns at least a $75 commission whenever you activate a cellular phone with our exclusive carrier. Just report the cellular telephone numbers daily on your SOS when doing the daily report. Accounting then will immediately credit your P&L for the commission, which is pure revenue and goes right down to the bottom line. Here's an interesting gross profit comparison. Sell only one $799 mobile phone, activate it with our carrier, and your store will earn more gross profit and revenue than selling 5 blockbuster VCRs at $299.95 each. Let's talk about some of the sales programs available to help you close that cellular sale. Many customers want extended warranties on their cellular phones. It's a high-tech, extremely complicated product that can be very expensive to repair. ESP costs the customer $199.95 for a 3-year plan. That's only $66 a year, or a little bit more than $1 per week in added protection. Make sure you use the reduction to the ridiculous in selling ESP. Tell the customer how much it's going to cost for this added protection, and break it down into a cost per week for added emphasis. Another great program is being offered by American Express. If the customer purchases the cellular phone and ESP with their American Express card, American Express will pay half of the cost for the extended service plan. The customer pays only $99.98 and American Express pays the balance. The customer saves $100. It's only costing them $33 a year for the ESP or 64 cents per week. That's a fantastic offer being made by American Express and Radio Shack. Something the customer won't want to pass up after you've explained this program in detail. If the customer would rather not pay cash to purchase a cellular package, then sell leasing or our monthly credit plan. Our leasing terms are very competitive within the industry. To lease the CT200, it's only $39.95 per month plus tax. For the CT300, only $49.95 a month plus tax and accessories. That's a 37-month lease with a 12% purchase option. If you need more information about leasing, order the Cellular Telephone Leasing Guide, DB210, from the Force Feed Warehouse. The CT100 Mobile should be sold on our credit plan rather than leased. It's only $40 per month. With antenna and tax, that's less than $1.50 per day for a mobile cellular telephone on our credit plan. Finally, we've just added a cellular hotline 800 number for Radio Shack sales makers. You can call to get answers about product-related questions, including programming, features, and applications. We want to make it even easier for you to sell cellular. Let's take a look at the profile of customers most likely to buy a cellular telephone and the benefits and applications for cellular in their business and personal lives. The transportable phone is most likely to be purchased by contractors, architects, plumbers, electricians, heating and air conditioning, service industries, and utilities. And portability is the key. It installs and moves quickly from vehicle to vehicle, and the cost is easy to justify. You can make or take calls just as you would with a regular push-button phone, but it can be used at times when you normally would be out of contact, when you're stuck in traffic, making a delivery or out on a service call, at a job site, in a rental car, or on a boat. It also switches easily to your family car so you'll never drive alone again. Professionals like doctors, lawyers, real estate people Owners of small businesses and sales professionals like cellular because of the availability of having a phone when you need one. Portability is a plus for leisure and personal safety applications, and it offers status and prestige. Boaters like the cellular phone because it's easier and more private than marine radio telephone calls. It offers direct dialing, and the transportable offers excellent range over water. With the introduction of the handheld portable, we now appeal to anyone who needs access to a phone while out of the office or the home. It can be used in the car, bus, train, but not on a plane. And it's small enough to carry around with you, weighing only 28 ounces. It fits easily in a briefcase. It's only 1.5 inches wide. It can be used when traveling, in airports, rental cars, job sites. So it's perfect for that business traveler. The 600 milliwatt power output will work well in most cellular systems. It has marginal performance in concrete and steel buildings, so don't oversell. It's only as good as the cellular system in your city. Our low-cost mobile offers a full-feature, full-power cellular phone that's easy to install, so it's a natural for business applications where being portable is not required. But at $7.99, it's also more affordable for personal reasons. A Radio Shack cellular phone is the ultimate security device because you or your family will never have to drive alone again. If help is needed, the police, a tow truck, the family doctor, or mechanic are just a cellular phone call away. You can even phone to let friends, relatives, or a babysitter know that you're running late. A Radio Shack cellular phone also helps you manage your free time better. In fact, it adds to your free time. You'll always be in touch while running errands, shopping, or taking the kids to practice. If a last-minute trip into town is needed, you can be notified before you get home, so you don't have to turn right around again and leave. It's great for vacations, too, because anyone can get in touch with you just by dialing your cellular number. And you can call ahead for directions or let them know your time of arrival. You can use your cellular phone in and around over 125 U.S. cities now, with more cities offering cellular service on the way. Cellular means more time to be productive, and the productivity advantage will pay for itself. Cellular increases the customer's productivity in these ways. Availability. You can be reached anywhere. For emergencies, for office contacts, for schedule changes, for client-customer contacts, for contact with other employees. Many types of customers may profit from a cellular phone. Executives can manage their own time, make their car a second office, work in the field while in touch with clients, immediately respond to customer inquiries, and immediately have access to new business opportunities. Salespeople can profit from cellular by expediting orders, verifying appointments, saving time, eliminating payphone searches, and reducing travel costs. Lawyers can profit by consulting immediately on legal motions, conducting research on the way to courts, saving time on canceled appointments, and holding legal conferences en route. Doctors can profit by being available for emergency contact, advising on emergencies, holding diagnostic conferences, prescribing drugs, and enhancing overall patient care. Real estate operators could profit by advising homeowners of prospective buyer visits, calling ahead to reserve keys, collecting messages, calling in new listings, and making appointments to meet buyers and sellers en route. The market for cellular phones also includes ambulance services, paramedics, architects, detective agencies, law enforcement agencies, government, limousine services, taxi services, the media, insurance agents, and utilities service personnel, or anyone who wants the convenience of a cellular phone. Don't forget to remind your customers about all the leisure time benefits a portable cellular phone can offer. There's the added benefit of being able to take it along on vacations, on weekend outings, boating or camping trips, at the golf course, or anywhere that you want to be in touch. And we could go on and on listing the advantages to owning a cellular phone. You should be familiar with these advantages and make sure your customer is aware of them also. Help your customers realize how profitable a cellular phone can be by asking these questions. When was the last time you wished you could make a call from your car? What would the call have been about? How could you be more effective if you could spend less time in your office and more time on the road with your customers or employees? When was the last time a customer or coworker complained because you were away from the office when they needed you? How many hours a day do you spend in your car on the average? How many time-critical decisions had to be made in the last 6 months without your input because you couldn't be reached? Ask these questions to get the customer thinking cellular. Then you'll need to qualify your customers to determine which cellular phone they need, a transportable, portable, or a mobile. Find out where they plan to use the phone. Qualify your customer and close the sale. Ask for the order and then ask for the referral. AFTR is vital for 62% of our cellular businesses by word of mouth, and you need that referral. Ask your cellular phone customer for a list of people they know that would profit by investing in a cellular phone. Then call these people and sell cellular. Another good source for leads is your store's business customer base. Commercial charge and computer customers are excellent prospects for Radio Shack cellular telephones. You can help your customer reach a buying decision by developing an information package consisting of the fact sheet DB200, which can be ordered from the force feed warehouse, an area coverage map, cellular service rate sheet, quote sheet on prices, accessories, ESP, Tandem computer leasing, and our credit plan, applications for TCL, commercial charge and American Express, a copy of our catalog, the Radio Shack cellular telephone feature comparisons chart. Well, I hope you've gotten some good ideas on how to increase your cellular sales and your earnings. You can see that Radio Shack is absolutely committed to cellular and is supporting your efforts. But the job rests with you. Build your cellular business. You're the champion that must meet the customer, overcome any objections, and close the sale. You can meet that challenge if you're cellular confident, confident in the product, and confident in your ability to professionally demonstrate and sell it to your customers. The excitement's here with cellular. Get a hold of this excitement. Pass it along to your customers and sell cellular. This module is intended to be used as a reference section on how to program Radio Shack's new cellular phones. Just like the CT200, the two new phones are easily programmed by you right in the store. First, let's go over the materials necessary for programming each phone. For the CT200, you should already have the DB224 NAM programming interface and software disk. For the CT100, you need the DB224 interface plus a new adapter cable and upgraded software. This adapter and new software will be drop shipped to all cellular stores by October 1. A 3000 HD version of the software will be shipped to the computer centers. Both programming kits can be reordered from the force feed warehouse. For consumer stores, it's DB208. For business products, it's DB209. The CT300 portable is not programmed through the computer. Instead, it's done very easily through the keypad by following the set of instructions included with this videotape. By now, you're already familiar with the DB224 NAM programming kit, which is what you've been using to program our transportable. The kit includes a diskette, an interface, and an instruction manual. And it allows your Tandy 2000 SOS computer to enter the operating parameters into the phone through the RS-232 cable. When you initialize the NAM software, all the constant NAM parameters were stored right on the disk. To program the phone, you only need to know the cellular telephone number, which is supplied by the carrier, and the lock code, which is supplied by the customer. If you ever need to change any of the operating parameters, just reprogram the phone. Before you can program the two new phones, you need a list of the NAM parameters in your city. If you have that list filed away somewhere, great. If not, here's how you can get the parameters from your NAM software. Boot up the system with your current disk. Go to the programming menu, hit I for initialize. As you hit enter, the screen will show the values for each parameter. Keep hitting enter and copy the information down on a piece of paper, or press Shift and Print together to get a hard copy. Once you've got the parameters, you need to initialize the DB208 or 209 diskette. Boot up the system with the new disk. It'll ask you to enter the NAM parameters one at a time. This data will then automatically be saved on the disk for future use. Make a backup copy when you're through. The CT100 Mobile programs exactly the same way as the CT200. The difference is you need an extra adapter cable, which is included in the DB208 and 209 kits. This adapter allows you to connect the DB224 interface to the handset connector of the transceiver. You also need to have a power supply. Take the DC cables that came with the phone and a 22-120 regulated power supply. Hook up the power to the mobile and then program it exactly as you did the transportable. Computer centers need to order a 22-120 power supply from their regional warehouse. If your phone doesn't program properly, you may get an error message that says timeout or length error. Here are 3 things you can do to correct this. First, make sure the phone is not locked. Second, make sure the horn alert is turned off. To do this, press Select 2. When it's turned off, the letters ALRT will not appear in the display window. Third, check the DB224 NAM interface to make sure there are 9 pins showing and that all of them are fully extended. For the CT300, a computer isn't necessary. The programming is very easily done right through the keypad. All you need is a charged battery pack and the instruction worksheet. This procedure is intended for use by Radio Shack store personnel only. Do not give this worksheet to a customer or any other outside person. The instruction sheet is supplied with this videotape and also will be included in the August merchandising newsletter. It has a chart that lists the parameters in the order they appeared during programming. The chart also shows the parameter abbreviations you'll see on the display, the number of digits for each parameter, the possible range of each parameter, and spaces for you to write in the parameters for your area. Fill in your NAM parameters for future reference. Please note that 2 of the parameters, preferred system and station class, are not mentioned on this sheet. That's because these are automatically programmed by the CT300. Let's program the portable right now, step by step, following the worksheet. Turn the phone on, and then enter *17 *2001 *12345 The 12345 is the security code for all new phones. A security code is not the same as the lock code. The security code is needed to reprogram the phone or to change the lock code. You have the option of changing the security code at the end of this procedure. Let the customers choose a number that they can easily remember, and be sure to tell them that if they forget their security code, the phone will have to be sent to the service center to have the number read. Okay, now the display should be asking for the home system ID. Press Select and you'll see the current setting, in this case 5 zeros. Enter a 5-digit number here. For this example, we're going to use 38. So you'll need to enter 3 zeros followed by 38 to make a total of 5 digits. If you make a mistake while programming, press Clear as many times as necessary to clear the display. Press Select to save that value and to display the name of the next parameter. The next category in this case will be access method. Press Select again to see the current value, then type in the number for that parameter. Press Select again, and you're asked for local control option. Press Select to see the current value, which is 0. Here I'll type in a 1, and I'll hit Select to save the data. Now it asks for the phone number, which of course is assigned by the carrier. Press Select, and then type in the 10-digit number. Hit Select to save the telephone number. Next, you should see Home Paging Channel. Press Select, enter a 3-digit number, press Select again to save the paging channel. Next is Overload class. Press Select and enter a 2-digit number followed by Select. Group ID also requires a 2-digit number. Press Select, enter the number, and select. The last thing to do is to enter the security code, which has already been pre-programmed at the factory as 12345. I'm going to change it to 10025 and hit Select. And that's all you have to do to reprogram the security code. When you pressed Select that last time after entering the security code, all the parameters were stored and the phone returns to the normal power-up mode. You can terminate programming at any time by pressing Select End. New parameters entered to that point are stored in memory. If after programming you want to be sure that you entered the correct information, you can re-enter the programming mode just by pressing Select to scroll through all the parameters. Finally, remember that although the CT300 automatically selects the preferred system, you still have to set the system priority to A or B, or the phone may accidentally go into the roam mode. This A-B switch must also be set after programming the mobile and the transportable. Here's how you do it. If your home system ID is an even number, well, B is the correct setting. Otherwise, use A. Clear the display, then hit Select 1, and keep hitting the 1 until the proper value appears in the display. When you're done, press Select again, and that's all there is to it. It's really very simple to program our cellular phones. But if you have any problems or questions, don't hesitate to call our new toll-free cellular hotline. Once again, the number is 800-231-3070. In Texas, call 800-772-5813. These numbers are intended for use only by store personnel. Please don't give them out to customers. I think you'll agree we have a tremendous cellular telephone line to offer our customers. Radio Shack is committed to cellular and to fully support your efforts. Become cellular confident by becoming thoroughly familiar with the 3 modules we discussed here today. Sell cellular and reap the benefits.
Hello, I'm Bob Miller, Vice President of Consumer Merchandising. Radio Shack's expertise in marketing and selling scanners has earned us the #2 spot in the market. High technology abounds in our programmable scanners. Microprocessor-controlled PLL circuits replace up to 23,000 crystals. This is a prime example of how Radio Shack brings technology from the laboratory into the home. And now I'd like to introduce Bob Katz, your scanner buyer, who will give you some new sales tips and techniques.
Hi, I'm Bob Katz and I buy the 20 category, which is scanners. Radio Shack sells scanners of outstanding quality, construction, and circuitry. We have 2 basic types and 3 basic styles. The first basic type is crystal controlled and the second type is programmable. The crystal controlled require a crystal for every frequency you wish to listen to, and they are ideal for someone who wants to listen to a limited number of frequencies. The programmable, on the other hand, require no crystals, however, are capable of receiving 23,684 frequencies. If you had to buy crystals to cover every one of those frequencies, your total bill would be $117,946.32. That makes a programmable scanner, even at $400, an outstanding value in comparison to the lower cost to start with crystal-controlled scanner and buying crystals to cover every frequency. As I said, we had 2 basic types. We also have 3 basic styles. We have the home or AC operated unit, we have the mobile or DC operated unit, and the portable type, which operates off of batteries. And of course there are combinations of these. You can have a mobile unit that is also capable of operating off of AC, so it can be used at home. And of course the portables are capable of being operated either off of an AC power supply or the DC source in your vehicle, so they can be considered multi-typed also. The first group of scanners we're going to talk about are our portables. We have 3 crystal controlled and 1 programmable. The crystal controlled units basically all have the same features: individual channel lockout switches, a volume and squelch control, a scan and manual control, and they come with both a rubber ducky antenna, which can be used for short range, and of course the longer telescopic type antenna, which increases your range dramatically. The basic difference then in the crystal controls would be the number of bands they cover and what bands they are. We have 2 units with 4 channels that cover 2 bands. First one covers both VHF high band and aircraft, and the second one covers VHF and UHF high low bands, but does not cover the aircraft. Our third crystal controlled portable covers all the normal bands and has the additional feature of having, instead of 4, 8 channels. Again, crystals are required for each channel. We also have a programmable scanner, which is a breakthrough in technology. It's a very exciting product, so exciting in fact that it's won Radio Shack's Technological Advanced Series Award. It has 16 channels of memory storage. It covers the 23,684 frequencies we discussed. It has a space-age LCD display, LCD meaning liquid crystal. It has a full search function, allowing you to find new and secret frequencies. It covers the bands of 30 through 54, which is low band, and 6-meter ham, 108 to 136, which is your aircraft band, 138 through 174, which covers your 2-meter ham band, as well as government and police and fire in the VHF high band. And it covers 380 through 512 megahertz, which gets down into government frequencies, ham frequencies, and most current police and fire usage in cities today. It has a frequency tracking circuit that keeps the front end always at maximum sensitivity, so that the signal you receive is always at its peak of performance. It has a delay circuit, which allows the unit to wait 2 seconds after a signal stops, and therefore allow the return message to be heard by the user. If you do not use delay, the unit will start scanning immediately after the signal stops. It has 2 speeds for both scanning and searching. It has a lockout feature, which allows you to take a channel electronically out of the circuit. The reason for this is, let's suppose that we took channel 3 and programmed in weather, 162.55 here in Fort Worth. If we did that, weather is a continuous transmission, and the scanner would no longer, even in the scan mode, continue to scan. It would lock onto that frequency. So if we wish to hear weather, we could bring the unit out of the lockout mode to hear weather, and when we were done and wanted to go back to our normal scanning routine, we would put the lockout back on channel 3 and go back to scanning. It has a priority function, and what this means is we are allowed to take channel 1 and make that our priority channel. What do I mean by priority? Let's say you were a volunteer fireman. You would program in the frequency for your station on channel 1. You would then have other frequencies programmed into the scanner. As the scanner would be going through its normal scan, approximately every 2 seconds, it would go back and check channel 1 for approximately 1/2 second to see if there was a signal there. And if there was, it would then lock on that signal so that you would hear what's going on your most needed channel. When it does this, of course, when it checks that channel there for roughly 1/2 second, it does create a slight chopping in the signal that you were originally listening to. This is normal. It has a keyboard lock. Once enabled, you can no longer change anything on the scanner. So if you pick it up and if you touch it, or if you were wearing it and you reach down for it, you would no longer cause the unit to change frequency, change channel, change speed. We do have another set of controls on the top which give you scan or manual movement or speed change. These are not affected by the lockout. In manual operation, we can take the unit and move it to any given channel we so desire and leave it there to listen to just one frequency if we're not interested in scanning at the present time. The unit utilizes a flexible antenna with a premium BNC type connector. It operates from regular batteries or rechargeable batteries. And don't forget, we also have both an AC and a DC adapter for this product. As you heard, and will probably continue to hear throughout the discussion today, the scanner here, the Pro 2020, is picking up signals, basically police calls that I programmed it for here in Fort Worth. The reason for that is what you should do in your store. You'll note every one of the scanners is either on and scanning, or in the case of the 2020, which is the only one I've programmed frequencies into, it's stopping and giving you information. The reason for doing this is the same reason that you turn a hi-fi system on in your store. It's to create excitement. You want your customer to walk over and listen to what's going on with the scanner, to take an interest in it. And when he hears the police calls or fire calls, or if she hears aircraft, that may be the deciding factor in purchasing a scanner. So please leave your scanners on, leave one at least operating. It doesn't have to be loud enough to overpower the store, but it should be loud enough that if somebody comes in the area of your display, that you can hear the signal. Another interesting thing to do with scanners is put a map of your local area up somewhere in the area of the scanners, because it just kind of adds another little excitement and interest. And occasionally you might even put up an article from your local newspaper that had something to do with a very, very recent crime or a weather story that you could have picked up on the scanner. We have one mobile unit and one base unit. These are both crystal controlled. The base unit has 8 channels, sells for $119.95. It covers the 30 to 50 megahertz VHF low band, the 144 to 174 VHF high band, which gives you both 2 meters and government services such as police and fire, and the 450 to 512 megahertz UHF band, which covers again ham plus your local governmental services. The mobile unit is very similar. It has 2 additional channels. It also covers the aircraft band, 108 to 136, and it has an AC power supply as well as a DC power supply, so it could be used in your vehicle and your home, or could be used in your vehicle and then taken out when you get home and used in the home. It sells for $159.95. We're going to cut the volume down on this a little bit so we don't interfere with our discussion here. We have 3 programmable scanners in addition to the handheld one. We have a base station unit. We have a base and 2 base mobile units. And the top of the line model is our Pro 2003. And if you hang on just a second here, I'm going to take some of these other items out of the way, which will give us room to discuss the programmable models in a little more detail. Fortunately, you won't have to do this with your customer because you just walk up to the display. Okay, this is our Pro 2003 top-of-the-line model, $349.95, 60-channel scanner, 50 public service channels, and 10 FM channels, which allow you to hear broadcast in the standard FM band, plus police, fire, ham, and other frequencies. And the unit is capable of being set in a mode so that you can hear both the FM and your priority channel so that you don't miss those important calls. It has a fluorescent display, which is digital in nature, easy to read, large and bright. It has zeromatic tuning, and this tuning is an internal circuit which makes sure that the unit always stops at center frequency, not 5 kilohertz either below or above the station, which is true of some of our competitive products. The unit also has 2 search and scan speeds controlled here. And as you note, as we change, we have an audible feedback response to let you know that your entry was accepted by the scanner. It has a search function, as do all of our programmable scanners. And this search function allows you to scan either up or down through any set limit of frequencies that the unit is capable of receiving to search for those frequencies which are either secret or new or for some reason or another unpublished. It also has a built-in telescopic antenna, and on the back of the unit we have, as you'll note, a jack for an external antenna, giving the unit complete and total versatility. It also has electronic lockout on the keyboard, which again allows you to keep those frequencies which you do not wish to hear locked out, and therefore remain only listening to those of important nature to you. The product has 5 bands of frequencies, 0 through 10, 10 through 11 through 20, 21 through 30, 31 through 40, and 41 through 50. This allows you to program in various frequencies. You might program in fire, police, ham band, other associated services, and so on. You can, with these bands, bring in as many of the frequencies you wish to hear at a time as you would like, or as few, never to be less than 10, and you can bring in all 50. You can bring them in any order. You could bring in the 10 band, the 30 band, and the 50 band, the 20 and the 40 band, or in any combination. We have also a headphone jack, an external speaker jack on the back, and a tape output jack for a tape recorder. Remember, a cassette recorder with this product is an ideal add-on. Some people do wish to keep a log of the frequencies, not the frequencies, but that which they hear on the various frequencies. We have a wood grain top panel, which is basically a styling. Top firing speaker, which gives you higher quality. Backup battery, so that the product will not lose memory in case of a power failure. And as I said, can be programmed in groups of 10. Next product we'd like to talk about here is the Pro 2020. This is our 20-channel version, again, with the fluorescent display, large and easy to read. You'll notice this one has a mobile mounting bracket, which allows you to use it both base and mobile. This unit, the Pro 2003, of course, is capable of AC and DC operation. However, this unit was basically designed in a more mobile type style, still, of course, being extremely attractive for home use. You notice we do not use wood grain on it. And now let's look at programming the scanner. First of all, we're going to go into manual and stop our scanner. We're going to go to a channel that we have not yet programmed. Let's try channel 4. Yeah, we have something in there, so let's go to channel 5. That's empty. Go into the program mode. And let's put a frequency in now and see what happens. This is the way you should demonstrate the scanner to your customer. So we're going to put the weather frequency in. 162.55. And again, you notice audible feedback. Enter. We're on frequency. And there's weather. Should we decide we don't want to hear weather in order to hear other frequencies, we'll lock it out, go to scan, and as we come back around through, channel 5 is not picked up, which is where we put it. If we wanted to hear weather again, we can go manual, 5, manual, and listen to the weather without removing the lockout. So the station is not gone, just isn't there right now. Okay. Let's talk about search. As I said, with search we can pick frequencies to go through, and see what's there which either is not listed, something new, or something different. So program, limit, put in the lower limit. This one will set for 460, which is the lower limit. And we'll hit limit again and put in the upper limit of 461. And now we're scanning through. Now there's a frequency. If we wanted to find out what it was or why it is, we can put it in the monitor mode and stay on that frequency until we've determined what it is. In this case, it happens to be police. If I didn't know that was a police frequency, or it was one that I didn't have, I could write that down and then program it at a later time into another channel. We can go back to scanning, up or down, and of course, as I said, we can change speed. That's fast speed and the slow speed. The monitor function, as you noted, allows you to stop on any given frequency and listen to it for a period of time, very similar to manual. Okay, at this point, we want to talk a little bit about Pro 2009. It's our lowest price scanner, has 8 channels, fluorescent display, has the basic features that we've noticed here on the Pro 2020. It does not have the same type of search function. We have a search in this unit which allows you to program in one end of a band and it searches up from there. It does not allow you to set both ends of the search. However, it still does give a search feature. In all respects, it's very much like its more expensive counterparts, with the exception that it has no DC. It does not have individual bands. It does not pick up FM. And it does not have priority. It does have delay, lockout, scan, manual, programming, and so on. An excellent unit at the price, one of our hottest selling units today. And now I'm going to clear the table and talk to you a little bit about accessories. When we're talking about accessories, we're talking about very profitable add-ons. And they're very simple. We have 20-210 headphone at $9.95, lightweight headphones with a full 1/4 inch plug. In addition to the headphone, you can always sell the customer, as I said before, a cassette tape recorder to record from. We have the indoor back of the set antenna. While your unit comes with a telescopic antenna, this antenna allows you to adjust its length for best possible frequency reception. In many cases, low band especially, needs a longer antenna, so this becomes an ideal item to sell the customer as well. For mobile use, we have 2 different types, both a gutter mount and a magnetic mount, which cover all of the bands and come with a proper plug for the mobile type scanners. However, you can also use these antennas with our portable scanners in a vehicle. In order to do that, you need an adapter. The adapter for the crystal-controlled handheld scanners is a 20-020. The adapter for the programmable handheld requires that you put together 2 different devices. One is a BNC, solderless BNC connector in our line, which goes along with the Motorola type connector that has a pigtail on it. You'll have to put that together or show your customer how to put it together. In addition to these accessories, we also have base station antennas. They're a little bit large to be showing you here. I'm sure you're quite familiar with them. They're in your catalog and available in the store. Remember, when putting a base station antenna up, you're guaranteeing the customer much more range, more possible signal pickup. They go up with the same mounting hardware and accessories that you put a TV antenna up with, the 15 series. Remember when doing this that you can use the 15 series chart that you have. Just in place of the antenna and cable, put in the monitor antenna, and don't forget the monitor antenna uses the 278 series cable for best performance. In addition to that, in the 15 series this year we have a bullet amplifier, and this amplifier, while it's basically designed for TV, does also cover the same frequencies as does our scanners, and therefore can be used for additional range and for fringe area reception. That basically covers our scanner line.
Hello, I'm Bob Miller, Vice President of Consumer Merchandising. Radio Shack has been selling CB radio since 1958, and we've earned our #1 industry position by sticking to the basics, offering consumers good quality products at fair prices. Now I'd like to introduce Bob Katz, your CB buyer, who will give you some new sales tips and techniques.
Hi, I'm Bob Katz, and we're going to talk about the 21 category CB sets today. Radio Shack is the largest retailer and manufacturer of CB sets and antennas in the United States. Our CB line consists of 8 models, 6 of which are mobile, a base station, and an emergency unit. Plus, we also have a complete line of 7 walkie-talkies, in addition to which we also have a pair of voice-operated 49 megahertz FM walkie-talkies. Our line of mobile sets basically have the same performance characteristics, with the exception of adjacent channel rejection, which rates the set selectivity, and the higher the number, the better the set is. Other differences are size and features. 4 of our mobiles are unique. The TRC 415 is extremely small in size. The one-hander has all the controls in the microphone, and the main unit can be mounted in a trunk, under the seat, or under the dash, and there is available through the mail center a 16-foot cord for extending the distance between the mic and the main unit. We also have the TRC 451, which is an AM SSB mobile, and this allows you to have 80 additional sideband channels not available on our other products. And of course, the versatile 211506 emergency CB unit. This is a full power set with 40 channel coverage in a portable styled unit with easy 1, 2, 3 setup. You simply put the antenna on the roof, plug the power cable into the unit, turn the set on, and start operating. If you wish to use this antenna, this set in mobile use, you cannot use this antenna which comes with the product. You should use a 21940 magnetic mount antenna or other suitable mobile antenna for moving vehicular operation. And don't forget, if you sell the customer an additional antenna for this product, you also must sell them the 278-208 adapter to adapt our regular CB antennas for use with the emergency set. The different features of each set, as I said, is what basically determines difference in price, since performance is basically the same. All of our units have both a squelch and volume control, a channel selector, and an LED channel display. As we said earlier, the 211509 is extremely compact in size and has an LED signal and power meter. Our next product, the TRC 413, in addition to the features as shown on our smallest unit, has a modulation indicator, an automatic noise limiter switch, which allows you to bring the circuit in and out. In the 211509, the previous set, that is an automatic circuit built in. You cannot defeat it. In addition to that, we have the ability to use the CB set as a public address system simply by flipping a switch and adding a speaker to the product. Our next model, the TRC 414, slightly higher in style. In addition to the features on the previous set, we also have given you a priority switch which allows you to set, say, channel 22 on the display and instantly go to either channel 9, back to 22, or to channel 19 for either emergency or highway information use. The next model in our line, the TRC 473, basically has the same features as this unit. We have an analog meter, channel 9, priority switch so that you can simply switch from the channel you're listening to into channel 9. An indicator to let you know you're on channel 9, a modulation indicator to let you know your level of modulation, and an antenna warning indicator so that if the antenna shorts or opens, that light comes on warning you that you should then, of course, discontinue operation of the set until you fix the problem. We've basically covered the features of the one-hander. All the controls are in the mic, the LED display, the channel selector, the volume and squelch, as well as power switch. Our sideband unit embodies all of the features found in our other products, and its basic difference is that it has an additional 80 channels. These channels are single sideband. They are on the same frequency as AM, but use only half the channel width. In order to tune them in, the set has what's called a clarifier. This does nothing more than what it sounds like. It clears up the signal. Normally, if you're not on frequency properly, you'll get either a Donald Duck or a very high-pitched sound. This control allows you to bring that back to a normal voice. We also carry a full line of CB antennas, 13 mobile and 2 base CB antennas. In mobile antennas, length is the all-important factor. We have a full quarter-wave antenna, which is the longest normal mobile length, our 211094 and 21912 marine antenna. We also carry shorter antennas, some of which are base-loaded, like our 21940 and 960 magnetic mounts, 21908, 926, and 904, which are both trunk and roof mounts. We also carry center-loaded types. These would be 21906, 21909, 947, 948, and 941. Your gutter mount antenna is an example of a center-loaded type. And then we have a top-loaded type, which was your 21945, the fiberglass type. The different types of loading only allow the antenna to perform properly based on the amount of metal surface below it. And none of these antennas perform better than another because of their loading characteristics. The loading characteristics for each antenna are designed by the engineer to be the most practical for its application. As I said, a quarter-wave inch or 108-inch 9-foot antenna gives the best performance and is the longest practical length for mobile use. Anything longer than that would be totally impractical. Cable length in CB use is not a factor determining performance, except that too long of a cable will, of course, reduce the signal length. In mobile, this is highly unlikely since cable lengths are relatively short. The cable length will not change your SWR. The only exception to this would be the 21912 Marine or the 21945 Twin Truckers, where the cable that comes with the unit is a matching transformer and not just the length of cable. It can be lengthened from the connector outward. The connector should never be cut off of the unit, and it cannot be shortened. To do this would completely destroy the antenna. Standing wave, SWR is standing wave ratio. This is the performance of how well your set and antenna are matched and how much of the signal is going to get from the set to the antenna and vice versa. This is measured with an SWR meter. Our 21525 is an example of this type of product. It is a very simple product to use. It has a calibration control on the front as well as a switch. And to use this product, you simply would attach a short length of cable, like the adapters we have in the line, between the set and the meter, and that is marked trans, which means transmitter. And this connector, which is marked ANT, would be hooked to the antenna. In order to use this, you would power up your set after you had made the connections. You would put the unit into the forward position and adjust the calibration knob with the mic keyed. Okay? You would key the mic until the signal needle moves to the calibrate position. At that point, you would release the microphone switch the meter over to the reflected power position, rekey the microphone, and then directly read on the upper scale what the amount of signal loss, or SWR, is. You will note that anything under 2.5 to 1 is acceptable. A 2.5 to 1, 2 to 1 is about 11% power loss, and that is not enough to be detectable or degrade your performance since it is less than a 1 watt loss. A recent Consumer Product Safety Commission, that's the CPSC ruling, required that all base station CB antennas must be insulated. Although our antennas are insulated and meet CPSC regulations, we still must warn our customers to use extreme caution when installing a base station CB antenna. Should it fall, let it go. Call the power company to remove it if it touches the power line. To remove it by themselves could be fatal. And don't forget, all of our antennas mount with the same hardware as a TV antenna. It's all in your 15 series area and extremely high on profit. As we said, we have 7 walkie-talkies in our CB line. The major differences between these walkie-talkies are only the number of channels and their output power. In the catalog, the figures we give are called input power. This has been the basic and standard way for the industry to advertise walkie-talkies over the years. However, it lacks in the sense that the true performance of the set is measured in output power, not input power, and that is the factor which the FCC regulates, output power. None must exceed 4 watts. To be as honest as possible, we in our manuals put both the input and output power so that the customer is fully aware of what they're purchasing. Let's go through our line of walkie-talkies. The first model, the TRC-84, is a single channel 100 milliwatt unit, comes complete with channel 14 crystals, and uses a 9-volt battery. The next unit in our line, the TRC-85, is a 3-channel unit, comes with channel 14 crystals in channel A, and customer must purchase crystals for channel B and C from your store. Some are stocked in your store on a standard basis, others can be ordered from the mail center. The unit also has a battery test button and an LED to indicate if the batteries are in good condition. Our next model, the TRC-86, is also a 3-channel model, also embodies the battery test. In addition, has a squelch control and a charging jack so that you can use rechargeable batteries with this walkie-talkie. And as you are well aware, rechargeable batteries are a much better value over the long haul than our standard batteries. The TRC-213, our next model, is a higher power model, 2 watts, 3 channels, has an external antenna jack and a external power jack as well as the charge jack. Our next model, the 214, is the same as the previous model, except it has 3 watts of power as well as 3 channels. Our 2 top-of-the-line walkie-talkies we call 5-watt walkie-talkies. These are high-power, deluxe, professional-type models. The 5-watt 6-channel model uses an analog meter to indicate signal strength and battery condition, has a squelch and volume control, a speaker jack, a jack in which to plug an external microphone, the 6-channel selector switch, a loaded antenna, side panels that are metal, and when you touch these panels, your body acts as part of the antenna ground system, giving you greater range, a high-low power switch to save battery power. In the high position, you have full power. In the low position, you have half the power, and an antenna, charge, and power jack. The top-of-the-line deluxe 40-channel unit is basically the same as the 5-channel unit, except it embodies a liquid crystal display and is synthesized and is capable of operating on any and all of the full 40 channels within the CB band. And last but not least are our VHF our 49 megahertz FM Vox walkie-talkies. Recently, we added a second channel to the line so that they are now on either channel A or channel B. The box in which the product comes is clearly marked. The reason for the two channels is that it gives the versatility to be used by local football teams, one team using one frequency and one the other. Ideal for construction work where one person may be talking to the crane operator while another is conversing with another portion of the operation. And of course there are many other fine uses for it, such as when you're bicycling, jogging on a jogging trail, and so on. That covers our CB line and accessories, and we'll leave you now.
Hello, I'm Bob Miller, Vice President of Consumer Merchandising. Radio Shack is the #1 retailer of security products in the nation. No one else carries the broad selection of alarm systems and UL-listed alarm accessories than the Shack does. As a matter of fact, many professional alarm installers buy their supplies from the local Radio Shack store. Now I'd like to introduce Bob Katz, your security buyer, who will give you some new sales tips and techniques.
Hi, I'm Bob Katz, and we're going to talk about the 49 category today, which is security. Radio Shack is the leading retailer in do-it-yourself home security type products. We have two types of security systems, motion sensing and perimeter, and of course we have combinations of these type of systems. A security system is a deterrent and a warning system. It does not keep an intruder out. That's the job of locks and bars. We're going to talk a little bit about motion sensing, which is an ideal system either for an apartment dweller or possibly for a homeowner that doesn't want to do any wiring. The 49305 is the latest thing in motion sensing technology. It uses passive infrared and it detects the intruder both by body heat and motion. It's a simple system to operate. To arm the system, you simply push the arm button. To disarm the system, you have to enter your own personal code, which you preset. This unit is also capable of being used as a perimeter system at a later time, since we have contacts on the back for perimeter and remote arming. We also have placed on this unit a set of dry contacts, which will interface with the security dialer, which we'll cover later in our presentation. In addition to passive infrared, we have a similar system which has basically the same features. However, it features ultrasonic rather than passive infrared as a detecting method. The differences between these two methods are basically as follows. Passive infrared, since it only detects body heat and motion, has the ability to be aimed and therefore can be used in an area where you may have pets or children. Since in this unit we provide a shutter which shuts off the lower beams of the unit. Therefore, this unit set at about 4 or 5 feet would allow a small child or a pet to be in the room without setting off the alarm. The ultrasonic, on the other hand, is what we call fully volumetric, and it totally fills a room with a sound that you can't hear. Anything moving in that room will set off the alarm. So while the infrared is slightly higher in price, it is a far more versatile unit than the ultrasonic. And finally, in our line of motion sensing, we have the 49303. Our least expensive unit uses ultrasonic, as does its big brother, the 49304. However, it does not have perimeter circuitry, and it also does not have dialer outputs, nor does it have the ability to be armed or disarmed by the remote keyboard. At this point, I'd like to spend a little bit of time on the automatic dialer. This device uses a cassette to record your message on. It is your personal message. It also has a keyboard which allows you to enter up to 3 numbers of those people you wish to call. Please remember that before attempting to dial a police or fire department, you must call to see if this is legally acceptable in your community. Once you've programmed in the 3 numbers and use the built-in microphone to make your own message, this unit will dial each number that you have called and that you have programmed in to be called. It will give the message 5 times and go on to the next number you have programmed in, and finally the 3rd number, and then shut down. Being an inexpensive unit, this unit does not know if it has reached a busy number, a number out of service, or even if the person at the other end who may have picked up the phone has received the message. That is the reason we repeat the message 5 times, and the reason that we only dial 3 numbers once. The unit also has the capability to be used at bedside, to be activated simply by pushing the dial button, or it can, through its contacts with a 49517 switch, be used to be activated from different points in the house. And these terminals, the normally open terminals, would also interface with various alarm systems and would be used to turn in an alarm for either fire, burglary, or personal messages, such as somebody who might be home sick and might need the help of a friend. Right now, I'd like to discuss our pulsed beam announcer alarms. This is the new 49307, now coming into your stores. And this is the old 49201, some of which will still be left in your stores. The new model has some features that the 49201 did not have. The most important thing is that the 49307 can be used as part of a perimeter system or alone. That was not the case with the 49201. It basically could be used alone. It really was an announcer and not an alarm system. I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the differences. The 49307, number 1, has a pair of normally open, normally closed contacts with no voltage on them, and these contacts are used to key off a dialer or allow you to use this with a wired perimeter system. In addition to that, we have provided terminals to which a backup battery could be hooked, and we do also provide the capability of running an external sounder and disabling the internal sounder. This unit also, in the alarm position, has a 5-minute timeout feature, whereas the old model ran constantly. In the instant mode, these contacts would close, the dry contacts with no voltage would close for a very short period of time, either activating your dialer or your alarm system. We also have 2 types of perimeter systems, wired, like our 49450, and wireless, like our 49401. The wired is, of course, the preferred type. However, in many cases, the customer does not wish to go through the problem of wiring walls and doesn't want unsightly wires running all over the baseboards in their home. In this case, of course, you get back to the wireless perimeter system, 49401. This system is more expensive than the 49450, and the reason for that is that you are using radio transmitters to get the signal back to the main unit in place of wire. So what you save in time of wiring, which is cost, you actually end up paying for in the transmitters. Both systems are very economical. Let's talk a little bit about the 49401. It has the capability of being used with an unlimited number of transmitters. It uses a keyboard from which you do all your controlling of the system. You set the entry-exit delay times, which run from 5 to 45 seconds. You can test your system. You have the ability to arm the system either as delayed or instant. You enter, it comes factory preset with a code, and you can reset it and use your own code. It tells you if your batteries have failed and allows you to clear the alarm after putting in your personal code. It has LED indicators of different colors to indicate how the system is used and what mode it's in. This unit may be used with the 49431 dialer. As we've discussed previously, it requires an interface, which is still available in our stores, the 49510, and this device hooks to this unit with wires, plugs into the wall, and with another pair of wires, hooks to your alarm system. You'll find the information on how to do that in your merchandising newsletter. Remember that the merchandising newsletter carries a lot of information on alarm systems and other products at Radio Shack. They are an important source of information that we may or may not have had time to put in the manuals, and we suggest you read them carefully and file them for future use. The 49450 alarm panel is our hottest selling item. It is considered in the industry as an absolute breakthrough and a top technology product with features at a $99.95 price that are not available in professional equipment selling for considerably more. This unit in every sense is a professional product, UL listed for home burglary use. It comes with a complete 36-page manual, which is an ideal primer on alarm systems, and it's my suggestion that you and everyone working for you read this manual, as it has a great deal of information on it on how security systems are wired and used. In fact, it would be ideal to order an extra copy from National Parts to keep in your store as a reference. I use it quite often to answer your questions when you call me. Smoke alarms cannot be hooked to the 49450 panel. It has never been listed as a smoke device, and therefore a customer wanting fire protection must buy the standalone smoke detectors. Let's talk a little bit about how you wire the panel. We'll take a look at some charts we have here. In this chart, we're showing how to wire 49495 magnetic switches to the instant loop, terminals 2 and 3. In this case, since we are not using terminals 3 and 4, we would leave the jumper that comes with the product intact, in place. We would, however, have removed the jumper for terminals 2 and 3. This means, since we're using the instant circuit, that we are probably going to disarm and arm the unit from a remote point, most likely the front door, with an outside key switch. Otherwise, we would need to use terminals 3 and 4, which gives us delay, allows us to get into the house. But let's talk a little bit about wiring. Magnetic contact switches, or normally closed circuit devices which hook to terminals 2 and 3, must always be hooked in series. What does this mean? Well, we've used a red and a green wire here for simplicity and for ease of you to see it on camera. However, the wire we currently sell is gray and white. So if you just think gray and white instead of red and green, we can follow through. We start out at terminal 2 with the red wire. We cut it and attach it to switch 1, come out of switch 1 to switch 2, out of switch 2 to switch 3, out of switch 3 to switch 4, and any number of contacts you had. And at the last set of contacts, we would then attach the green wire and bring that back to terminal 3. That would complete our loop, and that is how you wire multiple contacts. Now, there are more than just multiple magnetic contacts that can be used with the system. Here we've taken the same system and shown a number of products, not necessarily all of them, but a number of products that could be used with them. Magnetic switches, a glass breakage detector, window foil, the passive infrared sensor, and a vibration switch. The wiring still is normally closed, still in series, and done the same way. We would start at terminal 2, go through the magnetic switch to the second magnetic switch, into the 49516 glass breakage detector, out of it, into the window foil. This is foil in a block. Circuit goes through the foil, out of with the red wire, continues over to the 49530. And for simplicity's sake, all we're showing here are the 2 normally closed alarm contacts. So into the unit, out of the unit, over here to the vibration switch. And since this is our last terminal, the last thing on the line, we are now going to run the wire all the way back over here to terminal 3, completing our circuit. In addition to doing that, there are many other things we can do with the panel. One of the things we can do with the panel is arming and disarming. And we can do that in a number of ways. We can do that at the panel if we had a key switch here. We can also do it with a remote key switch. as you note here, which would be external if we were using our instant loop. And this is a diagram which will appear in the 49450 manuals that are coming out, showing you exactly how to wire this unit. It takes 6 wires to wire this unit up, and you can use our 6-conductor 274 series telephone wire to do this hookup. If you note here, we have taken 3 conductors and put them to a single terminal, which would say, well, I need 8 wires. Normally that would be true, but if you look in the lower diagram, which shows you how to hook up multiple switches, you will find that jumpers can be used to reduce the number of wires. So where we have 3 wires here all going to the same point, we would run a jumper and a final jumper, which would allow us to only have 1 wire. And when you get your manual, if you look in the diagram, you will see that that's what we are doing. We also have another device for arming and disarming the unit. It's the new 49535 keypad switch, which allows you to put in your own 4-digit code. And again, we have diagrams showing you how to hook up either a single or multiple units. In this case, it requires 8 wires. Since we do not have an 8-wire cable, the way to do this would be to use the 274 series 6-conductor telephone cable plus the twisted pair gray and white alarm wire in order to make these connections. One of the other things I'd like to talk about is how to use multiple 49530s in a system, since that does sometimes tend to be a point of confusion. This on top is a single unit being used with the panel, and would simply be done with 6 wires hooking up to your instant or delay circuit, your tamper circuit, and power from the panel to run the unit. Multiple units are done in parallel with the exception of the circuit for the alarm. And let's trace that since that's in series. We're going to start out here at terminal 4 on the alarm panel, which goes into the 49530. The second terminal, or the third terminal rather, comes out of the 4th terminal, now goes to the 2nd unit, into the 3rd terminal, out of the 4th terminal. Of course, we've cut the wire, okay, to the last unit. And when we come out of that last unit, we are going to return back to terminal 3 on the panel. Very much like we showed you with the other devices where we hooked all the different devices up. Again, we have put all the units, their alarm contacts, in series. The power and the tamper circuits would, of course, remain in the parallel wiring mode. My suggestion is you look at the manual. If you don't have a current manual that shows that, please don't forget your newsletter. Another new device that we've come out with is the 49529 2-sound indoor siren. This is a very high-styled siren. Looks much like a smoke detector, far more attractive to use in the home than the 49488 is. It is loud and can be hooked up to your alarm system. Your 49450 is capable of running a 49488, a 49529, and is even capable of running the strobe, the 49527. Why use a strobe? Well, normally when your alarm goes off, when someone walks outside, it is pretty hard to determine where the sound is coming from. If you were driving in a vehicle, this becomes even tougher because driving in a vehicle is much like standing on a corner and listening to a police car. As it comes towards you and goes past you, the sound changes. When you are in a car driving towards a stationary sound, you get the same effect. So in order to help the police or fire or medical team or whatever it is find your home to get you help sooner, you mount a strobe outside high where it can be seen. This is a 100,000 candle power yellow strobe, which has very high visibility. As you notice, we've mounted the panel here to a piece of wood with various devices that would be used with it. This is an ideal way of displaying the system in your store. You can show the arm and disarm. You can show the operation of various types of components. And with the little double pole switch that we have here, instead of using the siren and scaring everybody half to death in your store, you can always move down to the strobe position, and when the alarm goes off, the strobe will light, and if you want to, temporarily at that point, you can just show how loud the siren can be. This is an ideal way to demonstrate your system, and I suggest that you build something similar to this in your store. It's very inexpensive to do. Don't forget that Radio Shack carries a complete line of accessories for your alarm system, which are highly profitable and very, very easy to sell. Remember to take time when your customer, when they come in the store, since they are concerned and probably have just been a victim of some type of burglary or other traumatic experience, and that's why they're coming in to buy an alarm system. They expect to talk to somebody who is confident and knows their product. And remember that simplicity is the best method when designing a system, and take interest and care about what your customer's problem is. One of the best and simplest things to do, and the easiest way to help design a system for a customer, is to ask the customer to simply start out by drawing a very simple floor plan on a piece of scrap paper that you may have in the store of their home or apartment. It does not have to be architectural. All you're really looking for are doors and windows, so you can either determine how many contacts are used or where you might place the motion sensing device. And that ends our session on security.